Welcome back to the King of the Course series, where you guys, the viewers, send in your SCX24s or 24 scale builds. I run them on the indoor course competition style, where the top 3 trucks in each class are going to take home some prizes. Today we've got a super sharp deadbolt build from Henry in Washington. Henry is 12 years old and built this himself after getting this for a Christmas present, and he's done an awesome job. Let's check out Henry's deadbolt here. So visually, he's done a great job with this truck. It looks extremely good. It's got these red 1-inch beadlock wheels. Let's see what brand those are. Endura beadlock wheels, the red with the black lip, wrapped in the Little Guy Racing Parts 63mm Swamp King tires. Henry has vented these and also trimmed the foam, so they're very, very soft and squishy. These are big tires. It's going to be interesting to see if we get any sidewall flex here. Might want to look at a silicone insert or a printed insert to retain that sidewall strength, but we'll see how it does. He's trimmed the front fenders here to make room for these big meaty tires. We've got a Stinger style front bumper from Endura as well. The truck is so clean. What I really like about this, it's evident that Henry has a lot of pride in this truck because it is extremely clean. When you look at all the parts and everything on it, he's definitely taken good care of this. Let's open it up, see what's underneath here. Running the stock V1 electronics on here, the 2-in-1 receiver combo. He has upgraded the motor. There is an Endura Pro purple motor in there. It's the 50 size, 50 turn motor. Great motor, simple upgrade for the SCX24s. That is mated to the stock transmission by the looks of it. Let's flip this thing over. Suspension linkage, we've got all-in RC high clearance aluminum links here. Endura skid plate. For shocks, he's running the double barrel friction damped long travel shocks. He's got them upside down, always run them upside down. Seem to just work that way, better action. These are pretty long. I would guess that they are a 48, if not longer. Yes, AX Speed 48mm shocks. He does have a limiting strap set up in the front, which is great because you've got a lot of axle drop in the rear. He's got those frame mounted in the rear. In the front, mounted to the stock towers, but he does have that limiting strap set up, which is a very good idea. Emax servo up front, aluminum steering linkage. Stock axle housings, he is running some heavy Trio knuckles up front. I'm anxious to get this on the corner scales. It's got a lot of weight in the front of this thing. Also a pretty beefy brass diff cover up front as well. Alright, let's take a look at his shoutouts and questions here. So we got his deadbolt as a Christmas present, bought all the upgrades himself after watching and learning from our videos. Very cool. Says he's new to the hobby and love learning from our videos. Super happy to help. I love hearing that. That's great. He wants to save up and get either a Fair RC K5 SCX24 Combo C with the silver wheels or a Black Traxxas TRX 4M F150. Which one do I like better? I like the K5 SCX24 a lot, but I gotta say I really like my TRX 4M High Trail. So out of the two, that's a tough one. I would probably go with the High Trail personally. You've got a 24 scale. You could take the step up and get the bigger, the 18 scale with the TRX 4M, and then you'd have a nice one of each. Just my opinion. I'd probably go with the TRX 4M. Next question. How do I get a brushless motor and ESC to work with my stock controller, or do I need to buy a new controller? Henry, you are fortunate because the V1 electronics setup that you got here does work with brushless systems. So the V1 and the V3 SCX24 electronics will accept a brushless system. So the black box and the newer Spectrum 2-in-1s will. If you have the blue case, you cannot add an external ESC. So all you're going to do with this, you can keep this exactly the way it is. You're just going to take your external ESC and you're going to plug it into channel 2 on here. Now I'd suggest doing some tweaking with your chassis. You might want to get some of those metal plates or some sliders to put your electronics on, because now you're going to double up your electronics. You could also decase this stock setup, save some room, and then relocate your battery up front where that is, and then you can put your electronics on the sides. That's what I would recommend if you want to do that, because when you add an external ESC to your stock setup, you just get pretty bulky setups with the electronics. But it will absolutely work. Very nice and easy plug and play if you wanted to keep your stock radio setup. Here we are on the scales with Henry's deadbolt. Check out the weight distribution. Good job, Henry. 61% front, 39% rear. Slightly biased on the right with 51%. Total weight's about 452 grams. RTI, Ramp Travel Index. Let's see how this thing does. We got long shocks here. Let's see how she flexes. Coming off right there. I'd call it 17 on the RTI. Now the side hill. This thing's planted. It is tall though. It's 40. 45. 49 on the side hill. Now the vertical. It's 35. 45. 50. 55. 60. Starting to lift. 65. 66 on the vertical. Right, let's do some shakedown runs with Henry's Deadbolt. I gotta say, long live the Deadbolt. This is such a great truck. I hope and I wish that Axial releases a new Deadbolt sometime in the near future. I would love to see a mini Capra. Maybe that's what the Deadbolt will evolve to. But boy, this is just such a good truck out of the box. One of the best performers in the SCX24 lineup. I hope it comes back with a vengeance. Coming in here, trying some challenge lines right off the bat because of the long wheelbase of the Deadbolt. Gotta get those big lugs to grip with the Swamp Kings. There we go. It's interesting driving a brushed motor with the stock electronics. Oh, good save there. Forgot how much power that Endura motor has. The thing is quick. So Henry, I definitely recommend maybe re-gearing it. You can put some underdrive gears in the front and the rear axles, and you can tame that down. Getting some push here with the tires. I think we can make it though. There we go. We have to use that wheel speed to our advantage. Because the Deadbolt's relatively narrow, we're getting through our gates pretty easy. Let's try old rocker knocker before we get into the actual course runs. That narrowness is going to bite me here though. I got to be real careful with my line choice. Oh, yeah. Get that front tire up there. There we go. Yeah, nice. All right, and go through the hot tub. Look at that thing flex. That high clearance bumper working excellent there. Get set up for the escalator. Set some hard lines now. The escalator, man, this thing is tough. Yeah, we slide over and get into that pocket in big trouble. This thing's pretty planted in the front. We got that great weight bias. If I can get that front end to grab on top of this ledge. There we go. Almost should have just kept the momentum up there. Good. Get those lugs to grab. See if I can shoot it. I don't want to launch off the course here. Those things gonna stick? Yes, they are. Nice. I would have blown that gate, but that was a good climb. Check out the decline. I think we're gonna get quite a bit of lift here. Oh yeah, I gotta keep the momentum up. Got those long shocks in the back. It's gonna be tricky to keep that under control. Oh, there's that narrow stance hurting us there. See if I can recover. Oh yeah, nice job. This truck could definitely benefit from a lower stance. I think keep the same size tires, but I think you could manipulate the shock placement to get this thing to sit lower, and then I think we'd get much different results here. Not that it's performing badly, but the height I think is going to hold us back on some of these areas. So you could lay those shocks down at more of an angle and get that ride height to drop. I gotta get reset here. All right, let me get set up properly. I'll Oh boy, I am hanging on. Am I gonna get up here? Come on, Deadbolt. I don't want to get that. It's just start get the bounce. The front end unloads. Jeez, I gotta get that front end down. There we go. How am I gonna get up here? This is good practice. Ah, gosh. All right, I got my work cut out for me. I think maybe with 2 hands on the controller, I think I can do it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be challenging. But great looking build. I think it's gonna do good. We'll get set up and go through the canyon one more time. What I might try is run this on less than 100% power. You know, these V1s, they have a way to turn the throttle down. So I might run a reduced power here. Jeez, I'm getting all kinds of hung up there. There we go. All right. Let's get set up. We're going to go hit our first run. Run number 1 with Henry's Deadbolt here. Here we go. I've done a couple different things. Turned down the power, turned up the steering rate. I'm trying to get a little more steering out of it and tame that Enduro motor a little bit. Good. I'm going to be conservative in this first run. I do think I can get this bonus gate. I did this during my practice runs. I got to be able to get this. Big improvement in, oh, I thought I had it there, in the drivability here with the throttle turned down. I want to be real careful. I don't want to roll it. There we go. Nice. That was a good start. See, yeah, suspension unloads in the rear. That's going to be a tricky one to solve with those long shocks. Ooh, yeah. That motor's got a real strong drag brake too. All right, I'm gonna come into our second bonus gate. This was a little tricky during my practice runs because of the kind of the narrow and the tall stance of this thing. I get positioned appropriately, but I don't want to roll it. If I could turn in, I get that tire up on there. All right, now I get that rear. Cool, we're through. Nice. All right, Deadbolt's done really good in the hot tub. I'm gonna come through here. We get set up for our next line. I just jinxed myself. There we go. Yeah. Oh man, that was my fault. That was stupid. All right. And the escalator. Hard line here. Let me try to get that out of that pocket. Keep the front end gripping. Nice job there. I gotta find a way to shoot this without... Oh, I'm in big trouble. Did I save it? I think I did. I'm gonna try to crawl it first. Nice job. That was great. Very clean run there. Let's see if we can get situated for the decline. This is going to be tricky. because of the way this thing unloads. I'll be real careful in how I set this up. Oh, yeah, see, it's tricky. Yeah, I'm stuck in the hot tub again. The advantage with that is I can get it set up for this bonus gate. Which we are through. Nice. We'll get set up for Hell's Gate, which I have done once during my practice sessions. It is tricky, though. What you got to do is shoot it, keep the momentum up. And, yep, there's that front end starts to lift on me over there. I wonder if I come over here to the right. Yes, nice. This might be the run to show right here, our first one. I'm a little nervous on this decline, though, big time. Yep, jeez. Probably could have let that land on its wheels, but I didn't want to go off the table. Declines are this thing's kryptonite. Look at it go through the articulation alley. It's super good. Still a very strong run here. If I can nail this last gate. Oh, come on. Get those big lugs to grab. I know it's right there. Oh, I hit that gate. Man, another one mistake on my part. Bummer. Good run, though. 527. Great build here by Henry. Love to see talented young builders like this putting together great rigs like this Deadbolt. Henry's definitely got a bright future ahead of him, and I can't wait to see what else he does with his mini crawlers. Henry's Deadbolt looks great. I love the aesthetic on this super clean build. This is one of those trucks that doesn't take a lot of modifications to put up good numbers on the course. Really impressed with how well it did, particularly on the escalator, being able to crawl its way up the escalator on each of the 3 course runs. Super impressive. And that's been hanging up rigs that are way more modified than this one. This again just goes to show it's not exactly how much you put into your build, it's what you put into your build. With that said, we ran into a little bit of troubles with this thing, particularly with the declines. Definitely would unload on me very quickly on sharp declines, which caused us to flip over many times. Also, despite the limiting strap setup, still had some troubles with some front end lift. I think this truck could benefit from an overall lower center of gravity. So those Swamp King tires, as awesome as they look and as good as they perform, it might be better off with a set of 57mm Swamp Kings to bring that center of gravity down a little bit lower. Could also manipulate the shock placement, again, to get that thing to sit a little lower. If it was just a little lower to the ground, you got that center of gravity down a little bit more, I think you'd see some drastically different results here. But nonetheless, Henry's Deadbolt did put up some good numbers with an overall score of -42, good enough to put it in 7th place in the ultra competitive class 2. Again, big shout out to Henry, great job with this build, and I'm excited to see where he goes in the hobby. So guys, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of Henry's Deadbolt build and the competition thus far? As always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you in the next video.